Friends, good evening. I hope you have watched my last two videos on mental health. I'm really happy to say that a lot of people have opened up and contacted me with their problems, and I'm really glad to be of help. The results have been pretty positive. I cannot discuss their names for confidentiality purposes. Open up friends, small steps can make big differences. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, we may be overlooking another epidemic that has been troubling the millennial generation: suicide. My friends, close to 800,000 people die by suicide every year. Furthermore, for each suicide, there are more than 20 suicide attempts. Not only that, such suicides and attempts have a ripple effect that impacts families, friends, colleagues, communities, and even societies. Recent data from the Global Burden of Disease project by the World Health Organization shows that the suicide rates for Indian women is twice the global suicide rate. And for Indian men, well, it's a monstrous 5 times the global rate. Do you know that in India, suicide is the number one cause of death for both sexes between the age of 15 and 39? This is the age when significant developments related to career and family are typically experienced. Another interesting fact is that while across the globe, suicide rates among the elderly are falling, in India, there is a trend for sharp increase in suicide rates in old age. Old age, I mean 70 and above. A recent review of suicide data in India has pointed at some factors that put an individual more at risk. These factors are unemployment among males, domestic violence mainly among females, physical illnesses and social isolation among the elderly, high rate of agriculture unemployment, family problems for both males and females, and alcoholism. These trends point to some typical socio-cultural issues related to age and gender that may be affecting the suicide rates. So this brings us to the question, who is at risk? The link between suicide and mental disorders, in particular depression and alcohol, are pretty well established, especially in the high income countries. But what we need to realize is that many suicides happen impulsively in moment of crisis. It comes with a breakdown in the ability to deal with life stresses such as financial problems, relationship breakup, or sometimes even chronic pain and illnesses. Besides, experiencing conflict, disaster, violence, abuse, or loss, and a sense of isolation are strongly associated with suicidal behavior. It has also been observed that suicide rates are higher amongst vulnerable groups who experience discrimination, such as refugees and migrants, uh, indigenous peoples, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgenders, and intersex couples like LGBTI, and the prisoners. However, by far the strongest risk factor for suicide is a previous suicide attempt. So now let us analyze when and how these kinds of destructive thoughts come up. We must understand that we should not blame every case of suicide or a suicide attempt on mental illness. The broader political, economic, and socio-cultural factors also play a very important role. Criminalization of mental health issues also add to this stigma. However, suicide attempts are no longer considered a criminal act in India under the Mental Health Care Act of 2017. Therefore, don't let that stop you from accurately reporting a suicide attempt or seeking help. Do not blame or shame someone for thinking of suicide or call it a selfish act without delving deep into the matter. It undermines the struggle that a person is going through and further stigmatizes the thoughts and prevents them from opening up. The risk for suicide becomes higher when negative and destructive thoughts become intentions and leads to a plan that has the elements of specific time, place, and method. When one is in a suicidal state, there is an intense emotional turmoil which adds up with environmental and personal stressors, which can further add up and create a sense of a life not worth living. If you check carefully, many of us have thoughts about death at some point in life, such as I have a worthless life, or I cannot go like this. I just want to get away. However, the problem arises when this converts into an active desire for killing oneself, such as I want to hurt or kill myself. So, how to prevent such suicides or attempts? The first step should be to get away from any lethal means of hurting yourself. Remove all kinds of poisonous substances, medicines, equipments like weapons or rope, anything that can harm you. Stigma related to mental health issues prevents help seeking by persons who are suffering. You should discuss whatever problems trouble you with someone who can help you. It is not a battle to be fought alone, friends. People need backup support, including personal and professional support, therapy, and maybe pharmacological treatment. Sometimes negativity can be associated with a particular space or even person. Get away from any location where these thoughts are more intense or places your mind had chosen to carry out such disastrous plans. Instead, get to a place of safety or distraction, maybe a crowded place such as a park or a cafe. Stay away from drugs and alcohol when you are feeling low because they affect emotions negatively and lead to more impulsivity. Your capacity to solve problems also is lessened by such intoxications. Reasoning and problem solving capacity greatly reduces during a suicidal crisis, making situations seem more dire and hopeless. In these moments, you may feel intense agitation, self hatred, hopelessness, and mental anguish. The silver lining, however, is that it is important to realize that suicidal thoughts come and go, and that if you make it through the most difficult moments, you have a chance at feeling much, much better. Non-suicidal self-injury, like acts committed intentionally to hurt oneself but not to kill oneself, such as cutting, scratching, hitting, or burning oneself, may indicate a disturbed mental state and a precursor to more serious consequences. One must immediately open up at this juncture and may even consider seeking professional help. Also, we must not let our assumptions get in the way of providing support and attempts to help the person. We should reach out to them without any prejudices. We should listen to the person, support them without judging their struggle, get them professional help and resources if necessary, and keep reaching out to them even after they are connected to treatment. Social support is a very powerful protective factor against suicide. Therefore, reaching out to others even when they are not obviously struggling is very important. So, friends, we need to reach out to others when you are struggling. We do not assume that others are too busy or don't care or won't understand us. The lack of belongingness, the feeling that you may be a burden for others, exacerbates the situation. There is a need to find at least one person we can speak to. It is not necessary that the person is a professional or an expert, but just opening up and some emotional and psychological support can go a long way in preventing such mishaps. It also takes care of the loneliness, which, by the way, is also a very important factor in promoting suicides. You must understand that it doesn't make us emotionally weak to need others because we all go through emotionally overwhelming times when objective and rational perspective of others can help us see through our emotions. There are various apps and professional helplines in India and around the world that can help in preventing these mishaps. Anybody can give it a try if required. We all have our problems. We all get disturbed with things that at times become very difficult to share with even with people who are near and dear to us. However, if any of you or any of your friends or family member feel any kind of psychological stress, any career related issues, anything connected to relationship, or rather anything under the sun that might be troubling you, feel free to get in touch with me through any mode of communication available to you. I'll be extremely happy to help you out. And as I've already said, confidentiality is maintained at all levels and everything is completely free. So don't worry about that either. Do share this video so that maximum number of lives can be benefited. Check out the links for my Facebook page and Instagram page in the descriptions and you can get in touch with me. I have also provided the links for my last two videos on mental health in the description. An absolute pleasure talking to you. Take care. Bye bye.